But we back, though, y'all. I saw you, Cam. I saw you 23 seconds in. But I just let it ride. You know what I'm saying? We back. This is Daddy Issues. Back with another episode. Still dads. Still dads up in here.
Clearly.
Yeah, oh yeah. Because Kendrick is in here. Yeah. We taking it straight to Maya, though. You know what I'm saying? What you got?
Have you heard of taking the red pill?
Figure like
Not
on the
if it's
Matrix.
not if it's connected to. If it's not connected to the movie, I don't know what you're talking about.
It takes it from the movie.
Uh-huh.
It's a movement called men's rights.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm gonna give you
Men's rights. That
men's
just sounds funny, but keep going.
I'm gonna give you the
Men's
best
rights.
interpretation of their beliefs, and this
Okay.
doesn't include any of the rude or dehumanizing language found online
Uh-huh.
or in their conventions.
Okay.
So this is
Oh,
just
so they trash already, but keep going.
out the gate, just seeing what they have to say about
Uh-huh.
women, watching some of their convention speeches. I was like, oh, this is not fair, but sometimes the other ones do make a point. So I'm just going to give you the best interpretation.
Okay.
That men in our society
Mm-hmm.
are seen as disposable, especially in the military or in emergency situations.
Okay.
Like, I get to leave first on the life raft, and you guys have to wait.
Yeah.
That men are not given a fair shake in family court for custody
Okay.
hearings.
Okay, that's facts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That paternity rights are skewed, and the financial burden of false paternity, where a woman mistakes the paternity of the father,
Yes.
or paternity fraud, where a woman outright lies about the paternity of the father,
Okay.
falls on the man.
Oh, yeah.
That in relationships, men are prized as earners instead of as individuals.
Okay.
This is what they say.
Mm-hmm.
That women do not respect gentlemanly behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays.
That men are not given credit for the work they do. For example, dangerous jobs, longer hours, or higher stress jobs.
Okay. It's kind of valid out here.
Some,
Well,
some of this stuff.
I'm giving you the best interpretation.
Right.
Because if I were to link,
I mean, these are valid complaints.
and then I was actually like, oh, these are valid. And my boo was like, this guy he's on some BS. Like he was the one saying,
Uh-huh.
but he's
Why
not.
does it go further than that?
Right. Because that right there, that's
That sounds.
That's
that is
solid.
true. Especially the court thing. The court. When it comes to parenting in court, guys. get
paternity
short
stuff
end of
and
the
all of that?
all the
Yeah.
time.
I feel like women get off easy when they lie about the paternity and all of that. Like, men should get money back.
You think?
Yeah, like
yeah.
If they flat out lied and said this is your child and they put in all this time, money, all of this, and then you find out it's not, you should be able to take her to court and be like, I want my money back.
And emotional stress. I invested in this
Oh,
kid.
not to mention that. I think they should be liable for sewage.
What about the child who would suffer because
That's on the
parenting?
that's not
on
my
them
kid.
Trash ass mama.
That's on.
Something like
Yeah, I
that.
feel bad for the kid, but the mom did this
Mm-hmm.
by being
That's
untrue.
a trash human behavior too, to do something like that. Why would you do that?
To lie and because this one is
would
going
you
to
do that?
provide and this one has no interest.
Well, you should have
Trash.
thought about that when you was letting them bust in there.
This is true. I'm
just
giving
ridiculous.
you the point.
Exploded inside. And as a woman, if you confused, if it could be another person, you got to be real and be like, look, we got to make sure we on the up and up.
Step up.
Yes.
Be a woman out here.
Yeah.
Women ain't being women out here. Let's talk about. They always talk about be a man, be a woman. If you smash two dudes in the same time proximity, and the kid might not be who you think, you check. Be a real woman out here. Stand up, get them titties on the ledge, and stand up in it.
You're being ridiculous, Tony. You're asking women to be accountable. That's too
Oh.
much.
Well, do you
That's too
think?
much.
Do you think women are for the most part accountable? I'm
Shit.
saying I say for the most part women are accountable.
Shit.
If you look at the numbers,
What numbers you looking at?
Yeah.
Cue the number.
And,
All
and
right.
what are we talking about here? Just in this
Yeah.
particular case, or accountability? I'm talking about in general.
Well, what's in general?
Accountability is not y'all strong suit. I will post something on social media, and the first comment will be because men. That's not being accountable. That's blaming somebody else for your shit. And that is a comment I just posted yesterday at that line from As Good as It Gets.
Which one?
When she was like, "How do you write women so well?" And he was like, "I think of a man." and I take away reason and accountability.
That was a good movie.
It's a good movie, and that line.
Jack Nicholson.
So I posted
That
it
was
yesterday, and it was Cricket City from the women because they was like, that's just true. And of course, some girls like, you guys have never met an accountable. Yes.
Yeah, of course.
When we're talking about generalities, it's never 100% of the population.
Right.
That's ridiculous.
People always come in with not everybody. I
Yeah,
know not everybody.
not all.
That's a
I mean,
given.
duh.
Okay, so
What you looking up?
you just said look up the numbers.
I was just wondering where you looking these numbers up at.
Numbers of what?
Oh, is
I
there
don't
a
even know what we're looking
census
at.
on this?
What are we looking at?
I'm looking at fatherhood.org.
And what are we looking at?
I want to know how many fathers abandon their families versus how many mothers abandon their families.
Oh, it's definitely gonna be more dads.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's what. What's that? You asked me to look up his numbers because you said I
We were
was.
talking about the
I
accountability.
was just talking about being
Oh,
accountable for your
accountable.
actions.
Well, you
I
have
thought
to
that's
do-
what you were looking at.
Oh no!
Oh, I know the dads
No, we
be
know
out of
dads
here.
be trash.
Yeah, it's
Men
facts.
be trash on the father.
That's facts right there.
Who would argue that?
You literally just said look.
No,
up
but
his
we
numbers.
we
No,
were
we
saying
were talking
the
about accountability because we was
Well,
like, there's no numbers on that.
Right.
First, we have to define what accountability means before we can then look up the numbers.
Owning your own shit.
They not accountable on Jerry Springer or Maury. The women going in, they ain't accountable. That's why it's the confusion over the paternity.
These
But
are
some of them
biased.
be legit though.
Yeah, these are biased, and just in my personal experience, you can extrapolate from whatever. It is men who leave versus
That's not your
Yeah.
personal. That's
That's
life.
Yeah.
Whether
That's
the animal
real.
kingdom, whatever. Dudes
That's
be
real.
different. They be trash.
But you see the trash is there, it's visual. There's no deception in the.
Yeah.
They out of there.
Yeah.
The true deception that's more damaging it's not more damaging, but it's just when the women, there's a good chance that might not be your child, but I'm gonna just do it like it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go through life like it is.
That's whack.
That's hard hitting.
I know women have done that too, and it's not right.
That's
We've always said it's not right for them to do that. But I'm not going to defend them. You still have a child.
Right.
Like, what is the child? What are we going to do with this child that we have left over from this trash parent?
But the dude, if it ain't his kid, like
Yeah.
that ain't my
Right.
child. You talking about
What
we?
you talking about,
We
we?
have a child? No, we don't.
we
You
did not
have a
conceive
child.
this child.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Do you think that a good solution might be just blanket DNA tests in the delivery room?
yes. Why not? It'd be a
Cost.
bomb. Sometimes it'd be a bombshell, but hey, it should be mandatory.
It would eliminate a lot of stuff, though.
Man, right there in the moment, you be in the hospital like, this ain't my kid. You just see a dude just walk over.
It would eliminate a lot
Bombshell
of stuff.
City.
All right, in the comment section, men and women, do you think there should be blanket DNA tests in the
Yes.
delivery room?
Why not?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
What's the argument against it is what I want to hear.
Privacy and what? Oh, to protect your lives?
Oh yeah, who keeps the
You
information?
talk about
from the
privacy
DNA?
and there's a whole staff inside your vagina
Right.
pulling the baby out?
People
Let's-
coming in
let's
and out
not
of that
even try
room.
it.
There was no privacy during that. I was like, who is this? When they changed nurse, I was like, oh, there's too many coming in here. Who are you? Let me see your
Right.
credentials.
The janitor's coming in, excuse me. Well, you got the mop bucket, bro.
There was a lot of people in and out of there.
Well, do they keep your DNA on file? And can then they use your DNA to
That's the
go for
only thing
crimes
is
and
like
stuff?
you can't give the government nothing because they would abuse it. They would find a way to abuse the blanket. If everybody was just giving DNA out the gate, they would do something with it.
We found your DNA
Yeah.
at the dump site where the body was found. I was never in New Jersey. Well, we found your DNA
it'd be
because we had the DNA.
But it's got to be
from the
something
hospital.
where you got to know who these parents are. People just be out here lying. And it's just wrong. It's wrong to the kids too.
Mm-hmm.
Especially wrong to the kids.
Yeah, because you want to know your real lineage.
Yeah. And you stole that from them.
You know what I'm saying?
You made a decision and took that from them. A selfish decision. Because you made a selfish decision by sleeping with multiple people.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a whole act is just selfish.
Yeah, man.
I'm not going to argue with you on paternity rights and especially paternity fraud because I think that's wrong and super immoral to even do that.
But those points you laid out on the men's rights,
Because dads be getting murdered in the
they were
court.
solid.
Mm-hmm. Now, the argument against that would be, and this is what there's a movie out there called The Red Pill, and it's this female filmmaker who came in as a feminist and had her mind completely changed by making this movie. Now, the flip side would be that she's not a very good documentary filmmaker. I don't recommend the movie because, like, how are you going to have your mind completely changed just based on new information that's available? You were either not a very strong feminist to begin with, or you're just really gullible. You know,
what kind of feminist was she, though? Was she a legit feminist or one of them? Because there's different kinds out there. Like, the word has gotten changed. Like, wasn't feminism just supposed to be about equality?
Yeah.
And then you got these extremes out here that just basically want all guys to die. Like, it's just, you got them people that guys suck, they serve
You
no
got
purpose.
extremists in everything.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, what was she? Was she just, like, about equal rights, or was she, like, men suck? You know what I mean? Who was she beforehand?
Well, the problem with the
Because I don't think feminism should ever stop. Like, that shouldn't be changed if it's just about equality. But if it's about, you know, if you want some hating or some,
once you say I hate all men, you lose us as allies.
Yeah.
You like, man, shut your ass up. That's what you're going to hear from the audience. Shut your ass up.
Boo!
Yeah. You're going to be getting booed at your little rally. Boo! You know what I'm saying? I'm a man in here.
You show up to the rally just to boo this woman?
If she on that, I'm be in the audience.
Shut up, bitch.
Like, man, shut your ass up. Right after she make a point, and there's a little bit of quiet pocket right there. Shut your bitch ass up.
No, because then now she doesn't have to listen to you.
We don't have to listen to her. She
You-
don't
you-
like us anyway.
You hate us
You
anyway.
already don't like it.
The second you curse, this is why I was put off by the men's rights. Is the second you curse and the second you put down women, I check out.
But
you already
she put
don't.
us
But she already
down.
don't like us, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
She put us down.
Like, I
in the
wouldn't
whole
care
speech.
if a racist got mad at me. You already don't like. I don't care.
Right.
I don't care. So yeah, as soon as she starts, I'll be like, "Shut up, bitch!" Like,
You lose all credibility as soon as you write everybody
she'd be
off.
like, "Thank
No,
you guys
I
for
agree.
coming."
I
Shut up,
agree.
bitch.
I agree.
Not the case.
There's no need to, belittle people with name calling.
With the language.
But no, family court, there's also a problem in family court. But
Mm-hmm.
the flip side to that, I would say, and this is what the experts say as well, is that a lot of these men weren't really interested in being fathers until they split up. Like,
There's those cases too. There's
Yeah.
definitely those cases. But
So
then
it's
there's
hard
the
to
ones
tell.
where the mom is acting on pure emotion and being an asshole. Just because he don't want to be with you, don't mean he don't want to be a father.
Yeah.
Yes.
When you get
Those are two different things, and I hate when I see that. I remember when Tiger Woods got into his thing. I was working at Big 5 at the time, and it was a big story. It's Tiger Woods,
right.
and this lady was in there. Somebody brought it up, and then I was like, "Yeah, man, that sucks." Like, and then the lady's first comment was like, "Yeah, and she should take his kids too." I said, "For what?"
Right.
Because he's a terrible husband.
Mhm.
What the hell does that have to do with him being a father? And she was
Right.
like, "Well, if he hurt her, what does that have to do with him being a
Right.
father?"
It has nothing to do with
Well, what does that have to do with what kind
that.
of father he is?
Exactly.
Well, he shouldn't have been cheating.
Okay.
Okay.
You're right about that.
Now,
but
what
what
does that have to do with him
the
being a
kids?
father? Well, shut your ass up. Shut up, bitch. That's what I said, and I walked off. I got
Shut
fired.
your ass up, dog. Keon was all of a sudden in the crowd at Big 5. Shut your ass up. Wait, how'd you get over there?
But if
I
he was
hate
a
that.
good father before, he should get to continue to be a good father.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But if he was a bad father before, he shouldn't get to use the kids to hurt
That's
her.
Absolutely.
That's
That's
fair.
fair.
That's fair.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to, I think the courts are
Because a lot of
so
people
huge.
do flip it. They be like, they was trash, and then divorce. Oh, you want full cut? You was trash.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I know a lot of dudes who's in court like fighting,
yeah.
and the mom's just it's just pure petty, just pure petty.
And
Like,
you're not thinking about the kids at all. Once you go in there and try to pull that, let me get full custody, and you know the other parent is legit and fit. You just being petty.
Yeah,
at
first
that
of all,
point.
if you are two adults, y'all relationship didn't work fine. If you were two real co-parenting adults, you would never step a foot in court.
Right.
You would never go to court. You would just work it out. Let's
Yeah.
do split time, whatever. Ask a kid, who you want to stay with at the time, blah, blah. It should never go to court if you are two functioning grown-ass people.
And that's at the heart of that movie, The Marriage Story, that's on Netflix with Scarlett Johansson and what's Kylo Ren's name? Adam Driver. And initially it was like, he was like, let's just have a smooth, he knew the marriage wasn't going well, but he was like, no, she wouldn't take me to court. We were gonna have a smooth, but she went to a lawyer, and it just got
ugly,
messy, and it was just you could see it. It was just like, oh, that's why that movie. Adam Driver killed it in that movie because it was like you could see. It started out like, why are we doing all this extra stuff? And they were just trying to be nice, but then it just turned into anger. You see that transition. It was just like, it would have been so much smoother if they never brought lawyers in. Then it got expensive and messy and like, you know what I'm saying? It was just like, wow, just to see that.
There's a whole industry that makes money off of family court.
Yeah, and they love it. Oh, you gotta go for the, and you gotta consider that you bringing all these outside people in.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Stop listening to outside people. Like, you know what kind of wife or husband this person was and what kind of parent they are.
Right.
Like, why?
You know better than anybody.
I had a friend who split with her dude, and the first thing her mom and sister said to her was, "Take him to court." And she was like, "Why?
Why?
He's a good dad.
Yeah.
He sucks as a boyfriend. I don't know if they're married, whatever.
Right.
He sucks. But as a father, he's great.
See?
We're not going to court for what? That's stupid. But that was their first. Girl, take him. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Stop.
Why?
Let your homegirls hype you up. And why?
Take him to court.
Get him for what he got
Hit
because
him
he
in
hurt
that
you.
wallet.
Like, why? Like,
You gotta hurt him back, and then there should be accountability in that in the courts. Like judges need to be like, all right, you
Yeah.
just being, you know what I'm saying? So we just gotta find where that line is of like who's just being petty or just trying to be on some revenge stuff because you know the other person was a trash mate but a good parent.
I know a story about a person who's about my age now, and their parents hated each other. It seems as though they hated each other. So one just took the kids and didn't tell them where they were going, and that's it. He
Trash.
didn't meet They didn't meet their father until they were in their teens.
See,
Well, I
selfish,
don't- but-
selfish move,
I think the father was going to do the same thing
selfish move.
on both sides, so they couldn't agree.
Well, you can't say, oh, I think he was going to do the same thing. He didn't do the same thing.
But he did with some of his other children.
Oh.
so he had a history.
Yeah.
She beat him to the punch.
So beat him to the punch. So what's right or wrong? You just take the kids
They
and
both
It's
trash.
trash.
It's trash.
There's no, I'm going to take him just so you don't. The kids are still losing. When the kids are losing, you're trash on the parental tip.
Now, he didn't do exactly the same thing to his other children, but he did something similar.
Yeah.
Where I'm going to raise him for a bit. Because he's actually a very good father. So he wants to be hands-on. So, I mean,
You're not a good parent if you're keeping your kids away from the other parent.
Now, in special circumstances, if one
Unless
parent
they're
is on
abusive.
drugs
Yeah.
or abusive or something, you got to take them
Course.
kids. You got to get them out of
Of
it.
course.
I get that. But if you two functioning adults, just work it out.
Yeah.
Stop being idiots.
Make it truly about the kids.
Yeah.
'Cause a lot of people be saying it's about the kids, and then they be doing selfish stuff like that. Make it truly about the kids. Because me and Reed, when we split, we never went to court.
My mom and dad.
We
didn't go to
handled
court.
the legal paper. We got that done, but it was never a court battle. It was never any of that. You know, anything she required him, I was like, yeah, all right, cool. I'm gonna keep the kids under my insurance. Yep, absolutely. You got that. You know, so it was just put the kids first.
So do you think it's that people are having kids with people they don't know very well?
Yeah, or like
That or just they
you
can't
just see
control their
another
emotions.
You see another side of them when the pain comes in. People handle pain differently, and some just immediately go into revenge mode by any means, and they try to get you where it hurts with the kids.
Yeah.
But the kids are losing.
What if you didn't want your kids growing up around this woman that you don't know very well, or this man you don't know very well,
Right.
that they left you for, cheated on you with, or whatever?
All trash individual, but
That's not your call, though. That's still
Right.
you procreated.
you got to
with this
trust
person.
the other parent enough to be
Yeah.
like, look, you can voice your concerns like.
That's special circumstances too, though.
Mhm.
Like a lot of times, the mom get this new boyfriend. You know he ain't shit, and I'm
Oh,
tired
yeah.
of seeing these stories on the news where kids are getting murdered or killed by mom's boyfriend, like or molested by mom, boyfriend, whatever. Because this dude's trash. I don't
Yeah.
want that man around my kids.
Yeah.
So, and that's on the parent to pick good partners. So that's that's a slippery slope too, because a lot of people
Yeah.
do pick trash,
Mates.
mates, and then
Some people gotta be in a relationship, so they
or that,
bring all
the
these
new
people
woman
around
who
the
wants
kids.
the dad all to themselves and want to ship the kids off or treat them badly or whatever. Like, get these kids out of here. And the dad's just like, well, I'm just I'm just trying to get some. I don't know. It's like
Yeah.
so that it plays a factor. Definitely played
That's
a
a big
factor.
reason why I stayed single as long as I did. One of the many factors, but it was like I don't want to be bringing random women around my children.
Yeah, if I split, no one's coming
So it
around.
was like, you know, I got in a relationship. My kids was stepping out of high school finally, you know. So, but I was very mindful of that and like big on that. And same with Ree, probably, you know. She got a boyfriend now, but like, you know, it's been a while. So I'm sure she didn't want to have a lot of dudes around the boys, you know. And so,
but you guys are functioning.
we be thinking about the
adults.
kids though,
Yeah,
you know,
you
like
guys are
truly.
functioning adults. Like we've talked about that stuff before. Like if it happened, we're never going to court. First of all, I'm never putting any decisions when it comes to black people in a judge's hands. Never doing that. I am never doing. Like if I can avoid it, I am not putting in your racist ass hands. I'm not doing it. And two, we was like on the dating tip. Nah, ain't nobody coming around these kids. Like that's just dumb. Like I know me, she knows me, so she knows there will be no emotion in it as far as like let's just do what's best for the kids. And her, I feel like there would be some, but because she grew up without a dad, she would never want that for them. So I don't think she would try to throw me through the ringer because it's like I never want anybody to go through what I went through like that. So, and I know these boys love you, so you know we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Put the kids first out here in these streets.
Yeah.
It's smoother when you do.
Yeah.
When you truly put the kids first, it's smoother. Because you be like, "Ugh," but you know what the kids say.
A lot of people do think they're putting the kids first. They think that
No,
they'd
they
be so
don't. They
much
know what they're
better
doing.
off with me than the father. Or I don't have kids, so I wouldn't.
Yeah. Because you got to look at, because I look at kids like this. When you look at your children, when you were a kid, the most important thing to you were your parents at a certain point in time. Like, you know, your parents were everything. They're your whole world. Mom, dad. Even if dad was out, mom. It's everything. So when you look at your own kids, you have to keep that in mind. Like, your mom is so precious to you, or your dad. And so to remove one of them out of the equation, you're hurting them. Like, man, I miss dad or I miss mom. You know, like, why can't we see mom?
Yeah.
And you know, it's
And they don't care. Like even if the other person was trash, even if the person was, I have friends whose mom was the bad one, who was on drugs or whatever, but they were still like, but that's still my mom.
it's still
I
mom.
I still want to.
I miss her.
It doesn't.
She was good to me.
It doesn't matter. They
know?
just they want to see.
Kids don't want to hear it. You know, the good parents argue away from the kids. Like, the kids probably won't even see arguments. They'll be like, why'd y'all split up? Y'all never fought. But behind closed doors, we was fighting like cats and dogs when y'all was at school or, you know, whatever. We behind.
My mom and dad's
restaurant.
divorce hit everybody, but we was like,
Yeah.
what in the hell?
Yeah, because it's like.
We
and
had
I'm
no
sure-
idea,
And I'm sure
but
that's how the Baker boys felt. Like,
Yeah.
they never saw us like, it wasn't a toxic environment. And so, you know, but then when you think about the importance of, you know, parents with these kids, you be like, man, how could you take one out of the equation just on some?
And I don't
'cause you
believe
hurt.
in the bad mouthing of the other parent either.
Nah.
Like, that's trash.
Nope.
Like whatever issues you do know, that's not their business.
Right.
They don't know. And stop trying to put them against them or
Right.
make them pick a favorite or whatever. Nah, don't do that.
And you don't want your kids to feel awkward when both of y'all are in the same space again. Either. Like,
And one day them kids
gonna.
gonna be old enough to know what's up.
Right.
And then they come to find out you was doing some shadiness, and now they're gonna resent you.
Yeah.
And now they're
You
not gonna
kept
like
me
you.
from dad.
Yeah, I know that in a lot of cases. Like people like, man, I'm pissed at my mom because
Yeah.
I come to find out my dad was doing this and trying this, and she was being an asshole.
Right.
And so they're gonna and people, you think that's all you got now, and my kids, blah blah. I'm gonna make them be my best friends.
You never gave me the letters.
Yeah.
Well,
so,
I think I was trying to protect you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so yeah, you
Truly put them kids
put the
first,
kids
and
first. You
everything
should
will be
fine.
smooth.
Yeah, she'd be fine.
I like to shout out my dad for finding us. That was very big of him. Let's move on to their first point, or the point that I listed first, that men are disposable, especially in the military or in emergency situations. Tony Baker, Keon Poley, if a fire came out here right now, would you get me out of here first, or would you be like, get out of here?
No, my baby's here.
Yeah.
So,
You
baby
sorry,
friend.
man. I gotta
Oh,
go.
yeah,
I would
soon
probably
the baby-
get you.
Yeah.
Make sure you and the kids are out.
Women and children first.
Yeah.
I gotta
Do you
get
think
him
that's
outta
fair?
here.
Women and
I don't-
children first.
I don't.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're able-bodied, I could get the women and kids. I don't really have an issue with that.
Well, you're strong. You can lift. You can
That's-
help.
Yeah.
So, like for me, the reason why I don't have an issue with it because, like he said, I am bigger, faster, stronger.
Yeah.
So if I can do it, why would I sit there and let you try to struggle?
Right.
If I can, hold a door open or whatever, while people go through,
Mm-hmm.
then go. Just make it quick, because I
Yeah.
can hold this for so long. But
Right.
I gotta. If I can do it, he can't protect himself.
Right.
But, he
No,
can't.
he's
Yeah.
So,
He's
you
like,
know-
we gotta get him out first.
Yeah, and Cotty, she's able-bodied too, but I'm bigger, faster, stronger than her. So if I got to
Right.
do something, like, well, let me run back in the building then and get
Right.
whatever I got to do because I can do it.
Did you see that clip of that guy whose wife had been shot and he's sitting there with the baby and he's just like, his exact words are close enough where, man, I hope she comes through because I don't want to be stuck with these kids. And
Yeah.
the baby looks at him.
Wow. I don't want to be stuck
It
with
was
these
this hood dude. He's like, I don't want to be stuck with these kids. I was like, come on, bro.
kids. Dog. I mean, that was from the heart.
Yeah. Well, what about the military? Do you think women should be drafted as well?
Oh, they're not drafted?
Yeah.
Well,
there
I
shouldn't be a
mean,
draft, yeah.
if
Wait, the
something
women
comes
don't
down-
get drafted?
No.
Oh, you mean
So if something were to come
I
down
see
like
what you're
another
saying.
World War II or Vietnam,
yeah.
should women be as eligible for the
I
draft as
mean,
men?
if they able bodied,
I feel like
y'all want that equality?
exactly.
Here we go.
And I feel like people who talk the most shit should be drafted and stuff. Like all these people, like when we thought there was going to be another war after Trump's last thing, right? Everybody who be like America, and all, you get your ass in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if you old,
Yeah.
get your ass
Get
in.
your ass
I'm in a wheelchair.
and all the
Get
women who be like, women need to be get your ass in there. Because there's not every woman don't say that. Every woman be like, would y'all
They should
shut the
go
hell
on
up?
your social media
Yeah.
and see what you talking
And
about.
you go.
America or nothing else.
Yeah.
All right, you're
You're in.
drafted.
Oh, but on that point, I tried because we were just doing emergency situations. I saw how far I could drag my Tony.
Uh-huh.
He's 200 pounds of solid muscle.
Yeah.
So dead weight, he's getting messed up as I drag him out of the house because I'm like 125. I'm fit, but I'm 125.
Yeah.
He's got 75 pounds on me, and if he's not helping at all,
Right.
or if he's flailing,
Right.
yo, I can
But
grab
you
you
can
under the
still be
shoulders.
shooting.
But you don't want me on your back, because what if you get injured and I have to drag you out of there? I'm not. I can't.
There's some weak dudes out there that
There's
can't
a
move
lot,
another
yeah.
man. There's some weak dudes out there that
Put his
can't
hands up.
can't move
see
another
Cameron.
man, but he's still serving.
Cameron be looking at Tony like,
Man, it's
Sorry.
like,
I work on the computers. I don't know what to tell you.
How much do you weigh, Tony?
I'm 214.
214. Not a chance. You would get so messed up me pulling at you just to get
just,
you out
just
the
let me
store.
lay there, though. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but a man, that can happen to a
But
man,
you
too.
also
though.
have to factor in adrenaline when shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
So that'll give you
You'll
an
be
extra
stronger
boost.
in that sense.
That give you extra. There's been moms, when the kid's trapped under that can lift something that she has no business lifting because the kid was trapped under something that she
Yeah.
had to get it out of there. That's just pure.
And you just got to train hard.
Yeah.
PT, physical
I
training.
don't have enough upper body strength. I've
But
got
you- but
great
you-
legs.
When you're in the
But see,
military,
with
you're going to
you,
build it up.
With somebody like you, I'd be like, no, she don't need to go. But all these women who be like, well, I could do whatever. Get your ass in there.
Oh, yeah.
Because not every woman be on that height. Like, there's a lot of comedians that make jokes about, like, who the hell was crying that we wanted to work? Like, I don't want to work.
Oh,
Like, there's
yeah.
a lot of women who do stuff like that. So for those, I'm like, well, they shouldn't have to because they not on that height.
Right.
But for the ones who be on the hype, get your ass in there.
Go in there first. Get them in there first.
you go
Then
first.
start picking people that didn't want no part of it.
You go first. Like you said, go
Yeah.
on everybody's. They got access. Go on every person's social
Everybody's
media.
social media.
All
see
you
what you're talking
super
about.
pro women are better than men. Get your ass in there. All them Kaepernick is trash. Respect the flag. Get your ass in there. All them gotta go
First. Even if they old, get your old
Go.
ass in there.
Get in there,
right.
Ernest.
Yep.
So for drone pilots or things like that, do you think women should be drafted?
It should
to
be
be
all
behind the
kids.
line? Oh yes.
Drone pilots should be kids.
That's funny.
Easy
the
work.
gamers.
Yeah,
Put the
the
gamers in there. They be doing
All them
it up.
Fortnite. They be like, this is easy work.
Yeah.
Where do you need this?
I
All right.
love this.
Boom. Done.
Get them in there.
Okay, so in the comment section, should women be drafted alongside men? So mental work the women can do just as well. The
Absolutely.
intelligence and all these things.
Mhm.
It might be.
Women work well under pressure.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. That's
Get
true.
your ass in there.
Get in there.
And Tulsi Gabbard, she was
Man.
she's active duty, and she was I think she's a first aid.
I would
medical.
love to have women around. To be honest with you, I would love to have women around in crisis situations. I don't know. They can be calming for me. You know what I mean? So get in there.
Get in there. And they'd be like, I don't want to go. Shut up, bitch. Like that's the
Shut
thing.
your ass up.
That's the thing for this episode. Get in there.
No. We respect everyone of all genders.
I do. I actually never usually use that word.
Oh man.
I use it, but around gays.
is
I
it?
use it around. See, the thing is, I'm not as
Yes,
tight ass
bitch.
as you thought
Yes,
I was.
bitch.
I use it more playing with the fellas. But like when it comes to
Shut your
women,
bitch ass
yeah,
up,
when it
dog.
comes to women, I actually don't really.
I've never
I don't
called a
I'm
woman
not-
that.
Yeah, I'm not.
Not even in thought. Like I never even.
In thought. All day in thought.
I never even thought like I've never been that angry at one where I was
Shit.
like this bitch.
In thought.
It
I
just
didn't-
doesn't even really compute that way.
Here's another point that they have, that feminism has gotten women all of the rights of men, while women don't have to surrender any of their previous privileges. Do you think that's true?
Wait, say that one more time. Say it one more time.
So the feminist movement over the past, let's say, 50 years, has gotten women all the rights of men, so they can work, they can have as many partners as they want, they can do whatever, but they don't have to surrender any of their previous privileges. Do you think that's true?
No.
Previous privileges as far
Like,
as
like getting the door open for you, or you get your seat up, or women and children first, that kind of stuff. Like they got to
okay.
keep that plus be equal, but they still getting paid less.
Yeah,
They're still getting, and a lot of those other privileges though, like
they're minuscule in my opinion.
Yeah.
and the women are gotten so weird now that they don't even want those. Like some don't even want or appreciate those. Like I saw a post and this girl was like, everybody chewed her out for it, but they was like, this is just the mindset of these women now. Like she said something about holding the door. Oh yeah, any dude who wants to hold the door, he ain't trying to hold the door. He just wants to look at my butt. And she just went on this rant about men being predator, and it's just like, and of course guys, I'm just being nice. Like it's so.
Right.
They was like, that's the mind. It's gotten so weird that
It's
I'm
a lot
being
going
polite.
on. Right.
I am
Depending
being
on how the
polite.
woman looks though, they do get
No doors.
predators out
I
here.
was raised to open doors.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I just.
A lot of dudes on the legit tip just open,
Yeah.
but women do be getting.
Oh, of course.
Every time they leave the house, it's hard for them, especially given how they look. If you out here with a banging body, you fine as hell. As soon as you hit the street, you
Yeah.
gotta be like, and that's gotta suck. So then when somebody does
got
open the door open for you, like, you probably looking at my ass right now. So it's hard to,
But like giving up a seat or opening a door, that's just how I was raised. So it's
Yeah.
not a big deal. But for the ones who be like, I can do it myself. All right.
yeah.
I just don't.
You ain't got to be that mad.
Yeah, I don't
about
have
it,
time for
but,
this.
you
Like
know.
it's just because I've had guys open the door. If he walking out the door,
Yeah.
it's like, oh,
if
let
I
me
know
get that
you
for
coming,
Like,
I'm gonna be like, I got you.
I'm not gonna be like, I can get my own door, sir. I'm
Yeah.
a grown independent man. Like,
You think I couldn't open it myself?
that's stupid?
Well, let's arm wrestle right now. You
Yeah.
think I ain't strong enough to do this? All right.
Especially if you see somebody struggling with stuff. People get mad with the struggle. If people see me, I got 2 kids, a backpack. Sometimes they be like, let me get that for you.
Yeah.
That's just nice.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to.
Consideration.
Common courtesy.
Common courtesy has gotten weird. Like people get
Right.
weird about it, and it's like,
Well, the point that you made that women make less, that's actually debated. That women, because men tend to work more dangerous jobs for longer hours. That's one of their points, is that the men are working more dangerous jobs for longer hours, and their jobs are higher stress, whereas women, a lot of women get an opt-out at some point because, let's say both are lawyers and they're both working 80-hour weeks. Around 35, she's just like, I want to have kids. I'm going to marry another lawyer. He can take all this work. So it's not necessarily that for the same exact job, working the same exact hours.
They're not offering them less pay.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like in general when you see. Now, the problem with this is, do people value women's work less? Like taking care of daycare, like working in daycare and taking care of
I
young
definitely
children.
value it less. Now that I have kids, even though I always felt like that, now that I have them, I'll be like, shut the hell up with the parenting is the heart. Shut your ass up. I know it's not.
I was at
I've done
I was a
hard
stay-at-home
jobs.
dad for a while, It wasn't that bad.
It's not.
To
it's
be
not bad.
perfectly honest,
It's
it wasn't
not.
that bad.
It's not.
It's work, but it's not like, you know.
I've done.
I've
real
had
work
worse
before.
jobs than taking care of my kids.
I've done things where I was like, I will never do this again.
Yeah.
Ever. I've never felt like that with them. With I've had a job. We did a job in college. Our coach set us up with his punk ass. He was like, you guys want to make some extra money. You're just gonna go to this construction thing and help with them. You just got to bring some boots and a hard hat. And we were like, okay. They had us. We were inside. First of all, I don't even know if this is legal. They had us inside. You know how you see a power plant or something that's big, where the smoke and stuff comes out? Mm-hmm. We were inside of that. They were building it, smoothing out the cement on this crane. And they would just raise us up slowly as we smooth out. It was like 1,000,000 degrees in there. We're sweating. There was no lunch break. There was no. Yeah. That was the worst thing. It was hot. It was hard. It was.
Give me them kids.
Give me them kids 10 out of 10 times. Like, I will never do, or like Bill Burr's joke, roofing in the middle of June. Like, no, that's work. Mm-hmm. This is not work. It's like, I'm so sick of hearing parenting is the hardest. No, it's not. No, it's really not. And that's coming from a parent, because people always love to wait till you had kids. I got them. I took the boys to school every morning, made their lunch in the morning, took them to school. They went to 2 separate schools. I had to take them to 2 separate spots. 2 separate schools? But how, Tony? How?
Man, and we did it.
Yeah.
Picked them up.
What if they're not your kids? What if you're working at a daycare center because...
Well, that's a job.
That's a job, but if you had to take care of 10 kids...
That's an actual job, though.
Yeah.
And they're not getting paid as much.
People try to say that...
That's just a low-paying job.
That people try to say the parenting is...
I'm talking about when people say parenting your kids is like a job. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
I've heard this a few times from women I know that have one child and a husband paying all the bills. I'm like, I don't have kids, so I can't say anything back.
I do.
Yeah, well, you bring them to me.
I do.
Okay,
bring them to me.
Maybe you have a point. I don't know. I'll see in a few years.
They be stretching it out to make it seem like more than it is.
Well, maybe.
And then they be having, like, some of them had a kid, but a nanny too, and babysitters. You got help, and you still whining? Shut your ass up. Mm-hmm.
Shut ass up.
We're not going to name the podcast that. We're not.
Wow, parenting is not. It's not. It's just not. Like, it's.
Now, what's really real is when you working a full-time job and you come home to hold the kids down. Yeah. That's when it's like, yo, you are a soldier. Mm-hmm. When you doing both, that's when it's, But if you just, no job, no regular job, and you just holding the kids down, shut your ass up.
People like stay-at-home. That's like, even stay-at-home dads. Like, but I never hear stay-at-home dads complaining though. I never hear them complain.
Well, it must be hard.
They might complain about society looking down on them, like frowning on them. But as far as the actual job, they're like, man, I'll be folding.
That was my biggest issue. I didn't feel like a man.
Yeah,
I was
like
doing
that
you
hear all the time. Mm-hmm. Like you hear like, damn,
I'm
just washing clothes and whatever. You hear that. But as far as the hardness of the job, like when I had him, stop farting, bro.
I was doing laundry, cooking dinner.
That part's hard. Smelling these farts. Jesus. But like when I be folding clothes, I'm catching up on my shows while I'm folding clothes. Like I'm chilling. They take naps. I'm chilling during the nap. I might nap myself. Mm-hmm. Like it's not.
It's not as bad as if you're making it out.
Well, I'm gonna take your word for it because I've heard it is very, very difficult to do.
Nah, they just patting themselves on the back.
I've had way worse jobs.
Way worse.
McDonald's breakfast shift was way harder than raising my kids.
In and out and doing the whole line by yourself.
Man. Dairy Queen drive-through in the lunch rush. These kids is easy work.
There's so many things I would never do again. And I would do this every day. Oh, there's a ton of things I wouldn't do.
Stocking groceries in the grocery store.
That wasn't so bad. I used to do
trash.
That wasn't so
bad.
That
job sucks.
Working in a warehouse and organizing finding the SKUs for all the items and putting stuff in the boxes, that is the worst. SKU work
Inventory
is trash. Inventory work is trash.
It's tedious. That's the problem.
It's super tedious. Going to different stores, counting the inventory. I was dead inside.
And anything that has to do with manual labor, anything. I don't care if you just cutting grass. We did that in college. We was always doing stupid stuff team building exercise. We had to go around the whole city and cut grasses like for a fundraiser.
work.
It was.
I mean, man,
And the old ladies was like, take your shirt off. It was humanizing. It was all that.
The predators out
The
here.
old ladies was like,
Old
take your
ladies are
shirts
trash.
off.
Take
They
them
was
off.
like, you young college athletes, take them off.
They standing out there with the moo on and
Just
no bra.
smoking a cigarette.
With the
Dark
walkers.
meat.
Well, it's the same thing both ways because that's how girls get treated sometimes.
Y'all don't be cutting grass.
I do my own land. I do sweep in front of the
Y'all
house.
don't be cutting grass for other people. You be doing your own
I
yard
do
work.
my own. Yeah.
We don't admire. Come cut this grass.
I wouldn't do a very good job. I would not do a very good job. Okay, so the next step of taking the red pill is men deciding to go their own way. Men going their own way. It's a movement where they opt out of dating.
Nope.
They just decide there's too much
So what they
hassle.
doing? Just smashing?
I don't think they're even doing that. They're not even doing that.
Are they celibate out here?
There's also the involuntary celibates, which is the extreme.
Those guys are, they're crazy.
Get it?
Yeah, them dudes is nuts.
Yeah.
Once they start talking about this part of the men's movement, I'll be
like,
shut your ass up.
Shut up, ho.
Well, we've had comments in the section that are like, wow, I see what is going on in family court. I don't want to go through that. Is it worth it to have kids?
I mean, nobody plans on getting into that
Here's
stuff.
the thing about men, though. If you just refraining from sex just because you're scared to get somebody pregnant, get a vasectomy. Because you can change that at any point in time. So just snip it. And then you can be out here smash McGee. Smash mouth. Somebody should have told me the world was, Because you can get it reversed. So, you ain't got to tap out of the full fun of sexual pleasures. Because sex is a good time.
So you would advise men who are
If they
afraid
truly terrified of getting a woman pregnant and having kids, do that. Because condoms ain't 100%. They break all the time.
And in the moment, people just be like,
In the moment, you get caught up and take it off.
especially nowadays when every day you turn on TV. The last AIDS commercial I saw, HIV, they was just talking about it like it don't even matter no more.
Oh, yeah.
The last commercial, they was like, even if you already you contracted it. Like it is.
Yeah.
It's
It's
nowadays.
become that.
Yeah,
It's about to be the
nowadays.
new herpes.
Yeah, pretty much. You can live with it for the rest of your life.
But other things are getting worse because of the lack of condom use, so that it's making the STDs that are already out there much worse.
You talking about gonorrhea and the
Yeah, these
waffle
are-
and
That
the
blue
super,
waffle. I'm still mad at Tiffany Haddish to this day
The super.
for showing me that picture.
Oh, I never looked.
She just did it. Like she was just like, y'all seen blue waffles? I was like, come on.
Well, I don't know what those.
It is a disgusting STD. Disgusting.
It's gonorrhea.
I don't know what
I thought it was a strain of it, like a bad strain. I don't know if
it
you want to
was.
cue
Oh
it up.
yeah.
I'm just.
Don't turn
I don't
that
know what it
computer
is.
around.
Oh,
Don't turn that computer
y'all in the
around.
comment section, you at your own risk, you
Man.
can look up blue waffles. It is disgusting.
I just got my blood work back yesterday at the doctor's office. I always go straight to the back of the pages. Like, all right, what we got here? The gonorrhea, syphilis section. And they be trying to mask syphilis on the blood report. They just be like some letters, RPG or something like that. I had to look it up one time. I'm like, why don't they just put syphilis on the paperwork, man?
According to Medical News Today, they say blue waffle disease is fictional.
Oh,
Oh,
the plot
what
thickens.
was we looking at then?
That's a good scare tactic, though. I'm all for making up diseases to keep people safe.
It definitely. I was like,
I'm all
done.
for it.
I tapped out. I was like, I'm never having sex.
I'm all
again.
for it, man. Make
So
it
what
up.
was them pictures? But I was easily like, even when they would go through when you took sex ed, and they'd be like, this is genital warts, and they would show stage 1. You're like, oh, that's not that bad. By the time they got to the full mushroom, I was like, I'm done.
Yep. I was terrified of
Them
sex.
worst case scenarios of them STDs, I was
That's what they would show
done.
us.
The cauliflower ball, I was like, oh, hell no,
Okay,
I'm
yeah, I
out.
don't-
I was
I am out.
terrified. It kept me off the sexual streets for a long time.
Absolutely. I was like, I don't want none of this.
What advice would you have for someone that has spent too much time on the internet and they've gone all the way full incel?
There's nothing I can do. They didn't saw too much.
Well, they
seen
just don't interact with people.
So involuntary celibate. So they say that they want to have sex with these women, but they can't. A lot of them are, on the spectrum, or they just.
So what they do?
What are they, like, losers
They
and
can't
ugly,
close
or
the
like,
deal, or
yeah,
like, what's going
the-
on? Like they can't get it.
They call these guys chads. These like you guys would probably be chads, or I don't know if it applies to everyone, but it's like there are a few men who get all the women, and then everyone else has to scrape by.
That's factual.
And so they
This is like 10%, right? Of guys getting all.
I don't know
women
if
or something
that's
like that.
true.
I do.
I
think
don't
it is.
think that's. I think that girls
this is why I
give
think
guys
it's
a
true.
chance.
When you talk to people outside, because of sports and comedy, I'm very transparent. I just talk and whatever, and I get people to talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I found out in my life that if you exclude guys with money, guys who are good looking, athletes, entertainers, you take them out, the average dude is not doing that well in the women's department. The average guy, like you look at the number, like, because the common thing when people say stuff is like men are whores, men are sluts. Like guys will sleep with, the football player and the rich guy. Yeah, they're cranking them out. The regular dude that goes to school, he got a few.
A few's enough. You only need one.
Maybe one. He might have that. Like it's not like that. It's not. It is a small majority getting everybody. Like, and then you got everybody else just struggling. Like, and even if they're not struggling, they ain't killing though. They're making ends meet, but they're not. And that's a common.
I gotta agree.
Yeah, people think that guys in general are out here like guys are whores and there's something. No, but
I know a lot of dudes that don't want to smash every female.
Yeah.
They just looking for a good solid
That's
one
it.
to add to their life.
And
I know
that's
a lot of guys like
yeah,
that.
and that's not frowned upon anymore. So guys will admit it. Like I'm a relationship dude. Man.
Yeah,
I just want.
It's a lot of relationship dudes.
It's a lot. I got a lot of friends who were like that. They was like, bro, I'm be honest, I ain't you, man. I just want a relation. I just want because I would get mad at them because we were young, and they was like always looking for a girl. I'm like, we young. Let's hang out. And they go, that ain't me, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of dudes like that.
So you only need to find the one good woman. You don't
Yeah.
need to smash.
But they
everybody.
label it like y'all just smash anything. Y'all no, it's not everybody.
True.
That's just the higher ups and
Yeah, my female friends actually on as a whole had more partners than my male friends who weren't athletes, who weren't my regular male friends. My female friends' numbers was way higher. Especially after from 18 to 20 for them college years.
Women be out here getting it in.
Trying not to count stuff. Well, it was only 2 pumps. You still did it. He was in you. You did it.
Women be out here
living life. Catching bodies.
And they be lying about the count.
Doesn't that apply what you just said? That if you take out the good-looking women, the average
busted women still get
they
action.
be getting it.
But they don't get a call back.
No, I'm not talking about relationships. I'm talking about smash.
Yeah.
Ugly women getting that action
They
too.
getting it in.
Overweight women getting that action too.
Really?
Because a lot of these dudes with the high numbers, of them high numbers, I'll probably say 20% of them was what the world would deem as quality. And the other 80, they was just taking anything.
Now, this is kind of off topic, but do you think that these men genuinely find these women attractive but are afraid to bring them around their friends, and that's why they don't?
No, some dudes are just raised like, and I will say this, some dudes have bad, they were giving bad advice growing up. They weren't given the talk to respect women. They were just like, get as much as you can. They got that talk. Slay as much as you can. It ain't no such thing as bad, only thing better than this is the new, like that. They were raised like that, and so they just out here, they don't care. Turn the lights off. You see that out there, turn the lights off. I don't care, and they just.
Some dudes just like to just have new.
That's
just
it.
the new smash, no matter what they looking like. She ain't cute, but the head, I'll get head.
Yeah, and they want to do, and some of them they are very still caught up in trying to impress they ain't matured. Yeah. They just want to say like, I done slept with 100 girls. It's like.
I do believe a lot more men are attracted to big women or
they be lying.
Big women out here getting action.
They be lying.
Yeah. And then they lie and they say they're not attracted to them, but in reality you can tell they like these women.
Yep, they out here getting it.
Okay. So on that note, I want to see in the comments section what people think about this.
Yeah.
Should we have paternity tests in the delivery room? Is that just going to make That's just chaos for everybody
Honestly,
involved.
in my heart, I'm like, no. But for the I'm like, yes.
The reason is so valid. But
Yeah.
the mistrust of the government, you're like, you know, it's like, what y'all, because you don't trust them to get rid of the evidence
or
after
somebody
they're done
it's
with
just
it.
to get misused or misconstrued or whatever.
Yeah.
Like in my heart, it seemed I'm like, no, but it's a very valid.
It's very
but I'm
valid.
just like,
It's great. I think it would be great, but
That's going to be a fight when the baby's born. Like, oh, can you do this test? And she's like, what do you need a test for? And he's like, well, be just to make sure.
I don't care if you're offended, to be honest.
I never
She's just giving
understood-
birth.
But I'm
Give
talking
her a
about
few days.
I'm talking about offense.
Oh yeah,
in
in the
general.
moment, yeah, but like later on, like yo, let me just make sure everything is. It's like how you get your blood work checked. You know, it's just
Just like when people go into new stuff with and asking the other person to get tested. Why are you offended by it?
yeah. Oh, when you get offended, I'm out.
I'm supposed to
Like,
trust
if you
you.
get offended because I'm like, yo, let's get tested before we do anything.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I don't understand
Never
the
mind.
offense.
I don't like
of-
how you responded right
of
there.
just being careful and just checking on
Yeah.
stuff. Like that's all. We all have insurance, and all insurance is just in case.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
why can I get this test just in case? Why can I?
If
you know-
anybody y'all dealing with get offended because you asked about STD test before y'all begin, dip out.
they got AIDS.
There's something. There's a reason that triggered that. So dip on out. Because a lot of people, if they ain't tripping, they go, "Oh yeah, I can get." Shoot. Matter of fact, I just got my blood work, and they can show you the blood work with the date on it.
If they get hostile, you just hit them.
If they get hostile, get out of
Should
there.
volunteer the information. And if they care about you, they will do it on their
Man.
own.
I remember before me and Sabrina got together, I showed her my blood work. I just showed it to her. We were on FaceTime. Like, here's my latest blood work. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You act like you're buying a car, and this is the.
that's how it should be.
It should be. It should be.
People putting more into the car buying than they do their bodies.
They was in Target walking by the condom section, and Tony was like, "Wait a minute,
Man, you gotta let people know, man. Because I've never, had a problem bringing that stuff up. Be like, yo, you ever had an STD? You know what I'm saying?
I used to keep my paperwork on my wall.
Yeah.
In my ho-ho days.
As it should be.
It was stapled on my wall. I'd be like, why don't you look right there just to let you know.
And then even when you see the paperwork up
The
there, you
dates.
gotta look at the date
Yeah.
and be like, who have you smashed since January of 2017?
Oh my god.
Have you had the re-up since then? Because you gotta check every time.
Yeah. You
You
gotta
almost
check on your
got-
calendar.
Yep.
You gotta
Yep.
make sure.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta see his Facebook page to see
Yeah.
what he believes in.
People gotta have these conversations. They don't like having them. I'm like, look here.
I don't have a
I
problem
don't
with
care
that.
how uncomfortable
I don't understand
you
how
are.
that's uncomfortable. You're about to go inside of a person.
Exactly.
How is this an uncomfortable
You gotta be
convo?
safe.
We about to do uncomfortable things. We're about to do disgusting things.
That's
Why?
true.
How that was this conversation where you get offended.
The
You were about
dudes
to
really
see
be
my
offended.
nakedness.
Mm-hmm.
They be like, wow, this is what we doing out here. Wow. Like, yes. Why are you offended?
And you can say because I bet your numbers are bigger than mine from what I
Even if your
Even
numbers are
not.
small,
It's
you
just,
can.
why
You
can't
You
we
can't get
just,
an
your numbers
STD.
can be 2.
Yeah.
You can still be out
Why
here with
can't
that
we
high.
just be safe adults? I don't
Yep.
understand that.
Okay, so in the comment section, let us know if you have your paperwork. Do you think that women should be drafted as well? And for what roles?
We got some good questions in this episode.
And do you think that women have gained a lot of rights without having to surrender any?
All right.
Where no one's gonna get mad. Please in the comment section be nice to people for what they say. We just
it's
want
gonna
them to
be
be
a food
honest.
fight, man.
Yeah.
We're gonna be
Comment
civil.
section is the wild, wild west.
In every platform.
Every platform.
Matter of fact, that's where I got that from. That shut up, bitch. It's from the comment section.
comment section. Let's shut your ass up.
and
No matter what
especially-
you post.
No matter, and especially if you have fans and somebody comes on your page being disrespectful, your fan base.
Woo.
Shut your bitch.
Man.
So, and they going in.
No matter what you post, we should love each other more. Shut your bitch ass up.
This comment section is pretty nice. For the most part,
Ours
our
is pretty
comment
chill.
section
Yeah,
is
it's
pretty
chill.
cool.
You go on my Instagram though?
I don't really be looking
Food
as
fight.
much as I used to on this section anymore.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I rarely pull up in the
Yeah.
daddy issues comments.
I used to do it heavy, and then I was just like, I don't care anymore.
That's
Especially-
cool.
I
That's
care.
cool. cool.
I
Well,
care,
no.
but
As far as because you read
I
the
just
questions,
forget.
too, like you know what I mean. Like I used to just look for the questions and see, especially when we were starting out. I was seeing
Yeah.
how people were, what they might have wanted.
But
Or,
keep commenting, y'all.
yeah, for sure. Like I check in every once in a while.
Like, Tony, don't even be looking. I ain't saying nothing
But,
no more. No, keep commenting.
I
I just got too much going on.
I don't check on it as much because
Yeah.
I got stuff going on, and if it's negative, I scroll past. Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't. I'll be like I did comment on the last one we did, or one of them, because people was flying off tangents again, and I had to. When did we say that? That's my number one comment on social media. Show me where I said that.
Right.
Yeah.
Cue it up.
Yeah,
Show-
exactly.
when did I say
I'm all
that?
about cue up.
At what minute did I say
Yeah.
that Hitler
Yeah.
was a
You-
good guy in
when
that
did we
comment
say
section?
that?
Like,
We
never
never
said
said
it.
Cue it up.
Never said it. But for the most, it's probably because I do read through the comments. I look at the questions. If I see something like, "Oh, I'm afraid of having children because of this," then I'll ask. So your
Yeah.
comments do get read, and I do tell them to the host, and they're so cool. Like
Yeah.
maybe 5% are bad.
Like I
Right.
am way more willing to engage with the people who's in there having a good time. Like
Oh,
I
yeah.
will. Like if you leaving funny comments, or you
Yeah.
leaving like, even if it's personal to us, but it's just like cool, whatever. I'll be laughing with, like, because some comments be making me like legit laugh, and I like having conversations with people and whatever like that. I just can't do it as much because you're busy and whatever. But
Yeah. All right, we getting out of here, man. I'm
Yeah,
looking
I
at
gotta
the
go
clock.
pick up Keelan
We
anyway.
past due. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Daddy Issues. Remember, if you got any questions for us, ask us in the comments section on YouTube. Also, chime in with the questions we posed in this episode. There's be a lot to talk about. Thanks for listening. You can find us on any podcast platform. Tony Baker Comedy on everything. And Keon, what you got going?
KeonPoli.com will take you to all my platform at Keon Poli on everything. You want to say bye? Say bye. Kendrick. No, here, look. Say bye.
He told me bye.
Say bye.
Bye.
Say see you later.
Yes.
Say see you later. And take a bow.
Kendrick, man, he done came up, man. He out here with the good spirits. And he on the phone. All right, y'all, we out.